My name is Shivarjun Sendil. I am from LTRAC in Monash University. This talk is about the contribution of velocity-vorticity correlations to the skin friction coefficient in turbulent boundary layers and their variation with the pressure gradient. In order to compute the contribution of the velocity-vorticity correlation, the skin friction decomposition introduced in Yoon et al. Is used, which is referred to as the YHS identity in this talk after the authors. So it has 5 components. The first term CF1 refers to the contribution from advective vorticity transport. The second component CF2 refers to the vortex stretching contribution. CF3 refers to the molecular diffusion at the wall. CF4 refers to the contribution from molecular transfer due to mean vorticity, and CF5 refers to the inhomogeneity effect. So in this talk, I'll be considering 3 boundary layer cases which are classified based on beta, which is the non-dimensionalized streamwise pressure gradient. Beta equal to 0 corresponds to 0 pressure gradient case. Beta equal to 1 refers to mild adverse pressure gradient case. And beta equal to 39 refers to strong adverse pressure gradient case, which can be characterized as being on the verge of separation. And for the 0 pressure gradient case and the mild adverse pressure gradient case, the Reynolds numbers within the domain of interest spans over the same range. And the reference velocity and length scales are based on the vorticity formulation introduced in Lighthill, and delta omega is the boundary layer thickness. So this plot shows the 5 components of the skin friction coefficient within the domain of interest for all the 3 pressure gradient cases. CF1, which is the advective vorticity transport contribution, and CF2, which is the vortex stretching contribution, are dominant contributors in 0 pressure gradient case, which is similar to what is observed in pipe and channel flows. The advective vorticity transport term gives negative contribution for all the 3 pressure gradient cases, and similarly, the vortex stretching term gives positive contribution in all the pressure gradient cases. And CF3, which is the molecular diffusion at the wall, its contribution increases with the pressure gradient, and for the adverse pressure gradient cases, it gives negative contribution, and it becomes a dominant negative contributor in reducing the skin friction coefficient for the strong adverse pressure gradient case. So looking into the term CF3, we can see that the wall normal gradient of the span-wise vorticity can be related to the second wall normal gradient of the mean streamwise velocity. So the plots here show the wall normal profiles of the mean streamwise velocity, its first gradient and its second gradient. For the APG cases, we can see that there is an inflection point in the near wall region, because of which the second gradient of the streamwise velocity has positive values. And we can see that this value is pretty significant for the strong adverse pressure gradient case, which is consistent with the dominant negative contribution observed from the molecular diffusion at the wall. So now moving on, let's look into the pre-multiplied integrand of the first term CF1 and CF2. We saw that the advective vorticity transport term gives negative contribution for all the pressure gradient cases. So the 0 pressure gradient case has an inner peak, which reduces with increasing pressure gradient, and the outer peak continues to grow. And the dominant negative contribution comes from the dominant outer peak in the strong adverse pressure gradient case. Similarly, the dominant positive contribution in the vortex stretching term comes from the dominant outer peak in the strong APG case. It is important to look into the contribution of these velocity vorticity correlations, because the velocity vorticity correlations can be related to the gradients of the Reynolds stresses as given by this identity. So for I equal to 1, when we expand this identity, we can see that the velocity vorticity correlation V omega z and W omega y can be related to the Reynolds stress gradients. It has 2 parts. The first refers to the streamwise gradients of the Reynolds stresses, which is referred to as R here. It is usually referred to as the inactive component contributions, and the next one is the wall normal gradient of the Reynolds stress U prime V prime. Now let's look into the wall normal profiles of these velocity vorticity correlations. So the light blue solid line refers to the streamwise gradients. As we can see, for all the pressure gradient cases, its contribution is negligible, which is consistent with it being called as inactive component contribution. And so the combined effect of these two velocity vorticity correlations can now be considered as the dominant contributor to the gradient of the Reynolds stress, which can be seen from the figure. The pink line refers to the difference between this velocity vorticity correlation, and the purple line refers to the gradient of the Reynolds stress. They look symmetrical in all the pressure gradient cases because they are equal. The other important thing to note is the Reynolds stress gradient in the strong adverse pressure gradient case has an outer peak, and its dominant contribution comes from V omega z out of these two velocity vorticity correlations. And now when we put this identity into the YHS decomposition, so the combined contribution from CF1 and CF2 can now be considered as the inactive contribution and the Reynolds stress gradient contribution, which is referred to as CF12B. This term is negligible because of the Reynolds stress gradients, the streamers gradients. And CF12B, it can further be decomposed by integration by parts and applying the no slip condition, which is represented as CF12C here. Now we can see that CF12B can be represented in terms of the Reynolds stress instead of the Reynolds stress gradient. So CF12C represents the Reynolds stress contribution from the YHS identity. Similar to the YHS identity, there are other two skin friction decompositions, namely the FAK identity as introduced in Fukuoka et al. And RD identity introduced in Renard and Deck. So all these three decompositions have a Reynolds stress contribution in them. So we are comparing the contribution from the Reynolds stress U prime V prime for all these three decomposition. So the important difference to note is the term from the YHS identity has a constant wall normal weight for the Reynolds stress. The one from the FAK has a linear weight, and the one in the RD identity has velocity gradient weight. Now let's look into their wall normal profiles. So we saw that CF1 and CF12B are similar, which can be seen from these profiles. They match pretty closely for all the pressure gradient cases. And CF12C, which is derived from CF12B, is shown in black lines here. The characteristics of CF12C and the one in FAK are pretty close for all the pressure gradient cases, but the turbulent contribution from the Renard identity has an inner peak in the zero pressure gradient case, which continues to decrease while the outer peak grows. But however, for all the three pressure gradient cases, a dominant outer peak is seen in the Reynolds stress contribution for the adverse pressure gradient case, which is at the edge of separation. So to conclude my talk, the molecular diffusion term provides negative contribution in the adverse pressure gradient case because of the inflection point seen in the mean velocity profile. Across the boundary layer, in all the three pressure gradient cases, the combined effect of the two velocity vorticity correlations can be considered as the dominant contributor to the Reynolds stress gradient, as the inactive stream-based gradients are negligible. And especially in the strong APG-TBL case, the major contributor to the outer peak in the Reynolds stress gradient is from the velocity vorticity correlation V omega z. And we saw that the combined effect of the advective vorticity transport term and the vortex stretching term can be seen as the contribution from the Reynolds shear stress with a constant weight. And this particular term exhibits an outer peak, which also coincides with the outer peak of the Reynolds stress terms from the RD identity and the FAK identity, around 20% of the boundary layer height. This shows the significance of the outer layer vertical motion and turbulent mixing with increasing pressure gradient as it pertains to the Reynolds stress contribution to the skin friction coefficient. Thank you.